Welcome back to another episode of Val's Corner. I'm your host, Valerie Bropleh, and you're having Corner Conversation with Val. Hi guys, welcome back. Ooh, it feels so weird to be back. But I just want to say I'm sorry. I took like 3 months off. It started off not as my fault, but then I just embraced the break and it ended up being like 3 months. I felt like it may have been like 2 months, but I think it was more like three. I haven't posted since the summertime. But I'm back. I'm so excited. And today episode is everything that I've been going through the last 3 months. So it's like, yes, I took a break, but it wasn't a fun break. It wasn't like a relaxing break, just chilling, not doing anything. No. God was crushing me. He was working. Like, we was going through a lot. I was crying like almost every day. It was not an easy break. So as much as I missed you guys, but I'm excited. And this I want to call it a new season because like how like shows go on little hiatus and then they come back with like a season two. I'm gonna call this season 2 of Val's Corner. And I think this season is gonna be better than ever, better than season 1. Because the topics that I have and the guests that's gonna be on the upcoming episodes, I cannot wait. Like I'm so excited. So within those the break, God was giving me like topics after topics. And it wasn't easy topics. It was everything like I've been going through and I've been getting better at. So it wasn't easy. But I'm excited. If you can tell by today's topic, it's a little nod at my pastor because I quote her a lot, guys. I love my pastor. If you want to experience half of the things she does, come to Hope Worship Center on Sundays and Wednesdays at 5 Airmont Lane. See, we're back, guys. We're back at the temple. But yes. So today's topic is pain. Emphasis on can produce. Because if you watch my previous episode with my pastor, she always talk, and I always quote her, pain has the power to produce. And yes, you hear things, it's like, yeah, it does, but until you truly experience it and truly see the effects of it, it hits different. Like that saying hits different for me now because God had to like really reveal to me that pain really can produce. Because guys, I'm gonna just I like to be honest on here and just share my whole life story and my secrets. So why not? So the last couple months, I was dealing with fear, like a lot of fear, like to the point where it was like, I don't want to say crippling, but like it hindered me. So I was afraid of pain. I'm just going to say it. Like I was afraid of being crushed. And to the point where I was stopping myself from growing, if that makes sense. Yeah, like I was like, because I didn't want to experience pain or any like struggle, I just kept at like an easy base where it was like, nothing dramatic's happening, nothing like major is happening in my life. I'm just stay right there. But I didn't like go out of my way to push myself to do anything like different, like the podcast. So it hasn't been easy. Like when it finally like hit me that yeah, I was like hindering myself and putting myself back because I didn't want to feel hardship. I didn't want to feel a crushing season and all of that. But what's crazy is within that, I was still being crushed. I don't even know if that makes sense. So it's like, yeah, I thought I was holding myself back, but God was like, no, you're still going to go through this and I'm going to reveal to you these things that you're struggling with. And within all that, it's like any sermon I would hear is like, it was about crushing season. It was about pain, how much people come out of their pain and it was like one after another. I'm like, God. Or like my favorite was like, if you're not being attacked by the enemy, you're doing something wrong. And I'm not gonna lie, when I heard that, I was like, I even had a conversation with my mentor. I was like, but like, why does the enemy have to attack us if we're doing something right? Like, why can't he just let us chill? Like, why can't he just give me a break? Like, I'm doing what I'm supposed to the point where I'm like, what if I don't do what I'm supposed to do? What if I'm not doing good? But then it's like, that's not a good thing. Now I'm just giving in to the enemy. So when all of that like hit me all at once, I'm like, that little face you make, I was like, ooh, I don't want that. So I remember in my room, doing my quiet time with the Lord while he was revealing these things to me. And I heard him say, Valerie, when will you realize I have gotten you through many seasons of pain and look where you're come from? Like, why don't you trust me? And I was like, do I not trust God to get me through these? And God had to take me back. And crazy thing, all these happened like not all at once. He told me about the trust thing. And then on my way from a Bible study, I was like, when I tell you I was crying a lot in this season, I was crying a lot. Like, why am I crying on my way back? And from Bible, I was driving, and God was literally reminding me of every painful situation I had gone through, to the point I had to pull over because I was crying so much. And within those scenarios, he went one by one, and it was like, whoa. Yo, I'm not gonna cry. See, I'm not gonna do it. We're not gonna cry here. And I was like, whoa, like, why am I so afraid? I've gone through painful situations, and God has gotten me through each and every one of them. So why am I letting this fear cripple me in a sense? Like, why am I letting it take over my life? I did not want to elevate, God. Like, this sounds so bad. Like, I did not want to elevate because I did not want to get crushed. And I was sitting with my friends at Chipotle, and we were just talking about everyone I elevated and things that just happened to that right after the elevator. And I was like, I don't want to elevate, no offense. And it was like things like this that was going through my mind. It is so bad. Like, I'm over here. Granted, I love when other people elevate. I'm like, I'm going to cheer you on. I'm going to like be your biggest support. I love when people grow. Like, it's a beautiful thing to watch. But for me, knowing what that entailed is like, I didn't want to. I did not want to grow. That sounds so bad saying it out loud, but it's the truth. Like, that fear of pain, like, it consumed me. Like, it consumed me so much. I didn't want to do anything. Like, I just wanted to stay where I was at. I was like, God, I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. I'm reading, I'm praying, and that's it. Like, let's keep me at a nice baseline. Because then, the enemy's not doing too much. He can whisper, but it's like, it's not too much. Like, to the point, like, I got to go in the pit. But it's like, we're at a steady baseline. I just want to be there. I don't want to, So, God reminded me of everything he got me through. And it started from when I started before I started my work with Christ. And it's like, God, I'm not quoting God or anything, but it's like the scenario started with my suicide attempts. He's like, I got you through that, not once, but twice. And it's like, I survived that. Not many people can say they got through that, and I got through it, not once, but twice. My issue with my parents, he got me through that pain and that heartache, and realizing that I'm never alone. He got me through that. My spiritual warfare, I was fighting an actual demon, and he got me through that. So it's like, there's more, like more things he like had me reveal. But it's like, if God can get me through all those things, granted, it wasn't easy. It wasn't fun. Like, if anyone coming up to me is like, yeah, pain is fun, you're lying. No offense. Like, you're just lying. Like, pain is not fun. It's not easy. But it's like, if I didn't go through any of those painful situations, I wouldn't be here. Like this podcast had to go through some pain and a lot of crushings for me to be able to get here. So it's like, why was I so afraid of elevating? Why was I holding myself back because of that? And like, one, I felt ashamed of myself when it actually, all happened. I'm not gonna say I'm fully healed yet. I'm saying yes to more things. I'm still hesitant. Like, if I say yes to this, what's gonna like come out of this? Like, what's next? Kind of situation. But we're working on it. I'm less hesitant to say yes. I'm less hesitant to put myself out there. I'm not gonna lie to you. Try putting this podcast off to start for a while. God was like, "What we doing?" So this December, I was not gonna. I was trying to start in January, new year, new me. God said, "No, we're not doing that." So I'm back in December. Started earlier than I wanted to, but yeah. So it's like, every time I heard pain has the power to produce, it's not a saying that I enjoyed, but pain really can produce. God, bro, Jesus went through the biggest pain ever. Man died. So it's like, to save us. So it's like, if Jesus can die for us and he suffered for us to get to where we are, it's like, why am I always running away from pain? Not again. I'm not about to say, oh yeah, I'm about to embrace it. Like, God, give it to me. I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna. I'm not doing that. But if it does come, I'm able to tackle it more with species dominion. This season of our young adults, we started off with like dominion, talking about dominion, taking back our power, declaring things, defeating the enemy. And now it's like, okay, I can do that. Like I can attack the enemy. I can declare some things, when I be praying things. It's like, okay, that's all good. But in the back of my head, I was still afraid. Like, I'm declaring these things, healing and praying this. And it's like, but I'm still afraid. Like, if that makes sense. It's like you can pray the bold prayers. You can read the word. You can study and things like that. But sometimes that fear, it's in the back of your head. It's like, it still holds you back. And for me, it held me back because I did not want to grow because that meant more pain. Like, I was like, I've been through a lot, Lord. Like, give me a break. But it's like, if he does, what's the point? You're just stagnant. You're just like I said, you're just at a baseline. Nothing's happening. And that's not the whole point. We're supposed to grow in the kingdom. We're supposed to bring people to God. I can't do that, staying at a baseline and being afraid to go through things. So I've been working through that. I'm not fully there yet, guys. I haven't fully overcome it, but we're working on it, if that makes sense, So I also did not want to talk about this first day back, but God's like, that's what we're starting with because that's what you are working through. And if me talk about my struggle can help someone who is handling fear, it can be with anything. Fear is it's crazy. Everyone deals with some type of fear on some type of level. So it's like, it doesn't matter what it is you're afraid of. Going back to dominion, we can declare these things over fear. If we can declare ourselves to be healed, like heal our body, our mind, pray for our friends, we can declare fear to go away. We can pray the fear away, but it's still going to be there on some level, but we shouldn't let it take over our life. Like for me, I shouldn't have let my fear of pain take over my whole life. It felt like an identity at this point. Like I was just running away from things. People were like, Val, you should do that. No. Mm-mm. To the point I started saying I was on a sabbatical from anything because I was like, if I keep doing more, that just means more harder. So I was like, I'm on a sabbatical, guys. I don't want to do nothing. I'm just sitting and chilling. So guys, if you now you understand why I kept saying I was on a sabbatical. It's that little fear. So, also it's sometimes it's the enemy. Yes, I mean, we don't like him, but sometimes it's us. So my fear of pain was mostly on me, and because I was so fearful, the enemy was feeding more into my ears because of that. He knew, like the enemy knows our weaknesses and our strength. He's gonna play on your weakness if you open that door. So he was playing on my weakness, saying, "You can't do this. You don't want to do this because then this happens. Then you're gonna cry, like you're gonna be crushed more. You won't get this. You won't do that." Like he kept saying these lies, and it's like, and I kept listening because I didn't want to cry. I didn't want to cry, keep crying every day. I didn't want to be in a pit. If you've been in a pit, and if it's not fun. It's dark. It's lonely. It's not fun, y'all. So, for me, I'm starting to how I'm overcoming this fear. It's like, I got myself a mentor, y'all. Love her. Shout out to you, mentor. You should get you a mentor. But I started talking to her more about my fears and things like that. And at first I thought I was crazy for having that. And she told me no, everyone has fears. Everyone struggles with something. But it's what you do with that fear. It's how you overcome that fear. And that's what makes you stronger. But keeping silent about what you're afraid of, it's only giving the enemy more ammunition against you. But if you speak about it, if you say it out loud, it's like, okay, he doesn't have that power, so much power over you anymore because you said it and you're getting the help you need with that. So staying silent, thinking you're going to get through this alone, you're not. You're not. So speak about it. Acknowledge you have this fear. For me, it took acknowledging it and giving it to God. Like, God, I'm afraid. Like, I'm scared of going through heartache. I'm scared of you crushing me. I'm scared of you putting me back on the potter's wheel, smacking me, and then, doing it again. I was afraid. I really was. And regardless, it's like, even though I was afraid, God still had to do what he had to do. Like, respectfully. He was like, yeah, I still got to do what I got to do. Or if not, then I was just stagnant. So within my thinking I was staying stagnant, God was still working on me because he had me acknowledge this fear, had me realize like what you're doing is not okay. And once I realized that, that's when the boo-hoo started happening. I was crying for no reason half the time sometimes. I was like, God, see, this is what I mean. This is why I didn't want. But within that, it's like, I need the pain. I really, oh God. See, this is why I got to be careful what I pray for. You really got to be careful what you pray for. I'm over here, when you're in this presence, this is how you know it's not us. When you're in the presence on the altar, you crying, booing, asking God for these things. Yeah, I was the one asking God for these things, asking God to review things, uproot it, give me the pain. I'm ready for it. Was I? That was my spirit. That was not my flesh because I was not ready. Every time I think I'm ready for something, God's like, girl, sit back down. Humble yourself. You're not ready. And he had to teach me that so much in the season. It's like, Lord, when would I be ready? And you're never ready until he says you're ready. So if you think you're ready right now, and God didn't tell you you're ready, you're not ready. So be prepared. So yes, pain really can produce. Pain produced this podcast. My spiritual warfare produced my strength and my endurance. It produced a new prayer for me. Like I pray more intentionally in a sense. Like I never pray what my flesh wants, which gets me in trouble. I've come to realize that, but sometimes I just can't control it because I need to grow. I can't just stay where I'm at anymore. But it's scary. It is. And the more you read a Bible, you realize how many other people was afraid in the Bible. The one I'm thinking right now is David. I was talking to my mentor. I actually wanted to say this before I ended. And she reminded me of that. And it was in Psalms 143, verse 4 to 5. Paul said this: I am losing all hope. I am paralyzed with fear. I remember the days of old. I ponder all your great works and think about what you have done. Oh, I'm going to read. I lift my hands to you in prayer. I thirst for you as parched land thirsts for rain. That part, verse 6, is something I had to really work on, like thirsting for God, even though it's going to come with pain. Like, have you ever been so thirsty, like your throat is so dry and it's sometimes painful, but the only way to heal that pain is by drinking water. And the water for me was God and the word. So it's like I had to thirst. I had to have that painful thirst for God, so that way He can quenched my quenched my throat. So I need God to do that. So it's like Philip Anthony Mitchell. I watched this sermon where he said we got to be aggressive with our prayer. We got to be aggressive with our salvation. And when I heard that, I was like, whoa! Like it was like a shock to my system. Like I need to be aggressive with this fear. Like I need to be intentional to pray away because I don't want it to paralyze me anymore. I don't want it to take over my life. I don't want it to be the first thing I think about when I wake up and the last thing I think about when I go to sleep. Like, I don't want it to be crippling. I don't want to hold myself back. I want him to be aggressive with this. I need to really sit back and deal with this. Like, I don't want it to be something I'm okay with. Like, I don't want to be okay with staying stagnant. I want to be okay listening to the voice of the enemy. I don't want to be okay watching all my friends elevate and I'm over here okay with not elevating. So it's like, I need to be aggressive with it. I need to thirst for God more. Like in this season, I need that painful thirst, if that makes sense. because only then can God heal that. So yeah, so it's like even David was a man after God's own heart, and he did a lot of things. David was not perfect. That man was, whew. But at the same time, he humbled himself before God. He was honest with God. He literally said he's losing all hope. And that's still many times I lose hope in like thinking I'm never gonna get to what God promised me. And I'm paralyzed with that fear, thinking I'm never gonna reach my full purpose or reach what God has instilled for me. Like that fear is like that's what I'm saying. Fear, it doesn't just come with just one thing. It's a lot of things come together to like cripple us. So it's like once you acknowledge that you have this fear, we have to attack it. It can't just be, yeah, okay, I'm afraid of pain. I'm gonna just sit there. Oh, I'm afraid of have anxiety. I'm afraid to grow. Or whatever your fear is, I'm afraid of snakes or whatever. I'm not saying go touch a snake, but like just be realistic, honestly. But whatever your fear is, attack it, acknowledge it, and do the work with it. So it's like that is something I'm working on. I want to thirst more for God. And I want to seek him more than before in this season of my life. I don't want to just sit back and just watch everyone around me. Just like I'm all for like my friends growing. Yes, I love that. But I want to also grow with them. I don't want to just be like cheering them on, but also secretly not wanting to grow myself. If that makes sense. So I didn't want this to be long, but I just want to say that's something I'm working on. So wherever you are, whatever you're going through, thirst for God. Get aggressive with whatever you're struggling with. Pray harder. Seek God more than ever before. Like, be hungry. Like, get so hungry that the only time, like, you know, when you're fasting, and only the first couple of weeks or the first couple of days, you get so hungry because all you're thinking about that food. But when you start in your word and you start reading, worshiping, sometimes you forget that hunger because you're filling it with something else. But yes, that's what I want in this season of my life. I want to thirst for God more. I don't want it to just be, I want. Like, but I also want it to be, I want what you want. So if that makes sense. So I'm saying it here, and I hope you guys listen. Don't let fear cripple you or don't be afraid of pain because it really, emphasis on, shout out Pastor. Ooh, she's amazing. It really can produce something. It does produce. And I'm evidence of that. Like everything I've gone through. From being born in a house in Africa where there's not much resources. I'm here to tell the story. Like I've been through so much in my life, even before my walk with Christ, even during my walk with Christ. But I'm still here to tell the story and still here to motivate people. So it's like, if I'm running away from my fear, if I'm tackling my fears and not running away from pain, not saying I'm screaming, give it to me. And I'm not saying that no more, but I'm ready to embrace it if it does come, which it will. Jesus went through pain. God promises us pain in the Bible. If you read certain chapters, like you will go through pain. You will struggle. You will die to yourself. So it's like hearing all those things, but actually going through it is different. So that's from where I am right now. So yeah, that's enough rumble for me. So I hope this podcast blesses you guys. And I hope you're able to deal with things aggressively. But also for our ladies out there, if you want to grow and be stretched and have these things come to the realization, join my pastor's mentorship class, Reset Her. I'm going to say my producer can put the info in the description wherever you're listening to. But yeah, join it. For you ladies, I promise you will not regret it. Best investment you'll ever make. It is also a hard class. It will have you thinking, have you crying, questioning your whole life. But at the end, it produces something amazing. So join the class. And I hope this bless you. Share it with somebody. You guys have a great day. And I'm so excited to be back with this new season of Val's Corner. And I'll see you guys at the next episode. Have a great day.